Hello, my name is Victoria Stray.
And I'm Nils Bredemo.
We will now present the paper An Empirical Investigation of Pull Requests in Partially Distributed Teams that we have written with Marius Michaelsen and Elin Hagen. I work as an associate professor at the University of Oslo in the Department of Informatics, and I also have a research position at SINTEF Digital in Trondheim. What about you, Nils?
I'm a chief scientist at SINTEF Digital in Trondheim, and I also have a position at Blekinge Institute of Technology in Sweden.
And offshore outsourcing is one major trend within global software engineering. And outsourcing software development is most often motivated by developers' low hourly rates in other countries. And the lack of knowledge or resources is the second biggest motivational factor. And the context of our study is offshore outsourcing, which means that there were two different companies in two different countries that were collaborating. And what is BizDevOps?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we study a bank situated in the Nordic countries, working together with another company in Asia. And this bank have been doing DevOps for a very long time. And now they moved to BizDevOps, meaning that they have Biz, Dev, and Operations in the same team, giving them high degree of autonomy, faster decision making, and also few handovers.
And also very large teams.
That's true.
And the research question that we had was, what factors affect a pull request approach in distributed agile BizDevOps teams? And we report on the findings from an interpretative case study of a large agile program. So what are pull requests? I guess you all know this. It's a lightweight, modern quality assurance mechanism. It's a standard mechanism for reviewing distributed codes. It facilitates knowledge sharing and is highly collaborative. And in the pull request approach, a contributor creates a pull request after making code changes, and then a reviewer inspects the suggested changes to see whether they can be merged into the project. And the reviewer interacts with the contributor and others in discussion threads associated with the pull requests. And code reviews have been around for a long time, and there are many benefits of code reviews. For example, that you write better code because you know that someone else will read it. You have fewer defects, you have increased learning, and also authors learn from receiving feedback and learn about new solutions, new libraries, and also they can learn about the norms that exist. They get a sense of mutual responsibility and collective code ownership. Benefits also include better solutions and also complying with quality assurance guidelines. We conducted 14 interviews. We observed 37 meetings. And we also collected various documents. We interviewed members from two different teams, Alpha and Kappa 1, that you will see here. This is the large-scale program that we studied. Yeah. And these are some of the findings.
Yes, so when we analyzed, the pull requests and how that was handled in the teams and interviewing the team members and observing them, we found that our findings related to the theory of intellectual capital, which says that intellectual capital consists of human capital, your knowledge, and your skills, social capital, which is the network and the potential in that network, network is actually a key when it comes to pull request. And then also organizational capital, which is different agile methods, for example, or the use of Slack or Jira.
So we found some factors that affected the pull request approach, and one of the challenges was that they use different agile processes. So one of the teams, they followed Scrum, while the other followed Kanban. And we have a quote here. I feel there are too often new names appearing in the pull request. Names I've never seen before. When you know the person, you know his strengths and weaknesses, and then it becomes much easier to press approve because I know what he knows. Now it's more like I have to analyze the code much more carefully because I do not know who wrote it and how good an understanding that person has of our complex domain. What do you think about that, Niels?
It says something about the importance of knowing, and we saw that locally. They knew each other very well, so they much easier, faster approved the pull request, while the people that didn't know, they had to investigate in another way. And then, of course, when you had a high turnover among the remote developers, this caused a problem.
Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, you can read this quote in the paper. But this quote, when I get a quality a QA from Capatec, then it's maybe 64 pull requests. So then it's like, wow, where should I begin? That is cumbersome, not very motivating. Reviewing pull requests is never particularly fun, regardless of who sent them, and now it's been quite a lot. And then it gets really boring. So this was partly because they followed different agile methodologies.
Yes. Locally, they used Kanban, flow-based. Remotely, they used Scrum, which I thought was good because then they wouldn't, bother your review the developers at the other side all the time. But then because of Scrum time-boxed, you ended up having a lot of pull requests at the same time, and that was kind of demotivating.
Yes. We will then just jump to the conclusion and say that we conducted an interpretative case study to investigate the factors that affect the pull request approach in distributed agile BizDevOps teams. We report on the friction caused by using pull requests for distributed development as part of an offshore outsourcing relationship between two sites. We found multiple barriers to code review process. Examples include offsite developers struggling with domain complexity, the use of two agile approaches in the distributed teams, leading to an overload of pull requests in periods, and a lack of social network between the developers across sites, and that was mainly because of high turnover offsite. To learn more, please read the paper.
Thank you very much for another excellent presentation. Very interesting and, of course, a very relevant area of research, anything related to DevOps and its application in industry. So we have Niels Breed Moe here to respond to questions. And I see a first question coming in from John Knoll, which I will read back, Niels. You mentioned social capital. Do you think that now with ubiquitous working from home, social capital is being expended at a greater rate than it's being replenished? If so, will that adversely affect the review process?
That's a very good question. I would say that the social capital is becoming even more important these days because of everyone being in their working from their place, and we see that especially when we talk to new people and younger people, because they don't know maybe the rest of the organization, maybe they've been onboarded after starting working from home, and they say it sometimes is more difficult to get feedback, to know who to ask questions and to get feedback. So social capital is definitely becoming more important in this context.
Yeah, I can imagine that that's true. And we have another question from Tor Sporsem. Can you say more about the intellectual capital theory and how it helped you make sense of the findings?
That's also a very good question. So what was good with this theory is that it actually helps. It gives us a language to understand the different issues going on. For example, the human capital and the lack of such capital, and how that is related to social capital. For example, when you have a high turnover among the remote developers, that's all because it affects both the human capital and social capital, and then you see how they are related. And such connections we find in the data material when we look at it using this theory.
Yeah, okay. So thank you for that response also, Niels. I mean, I have a couple of questions, which maybe you can help a little bit with, help my understanding. So in terms of BizDevOps, can you give us a sense for how widely used it is, or maybe the sectors it's used in, to your knowledge?
Yeah, so we see an increase in the need for team autonomy the last years, so that the teams can decide more themselves. And especially in the financial sector, there's been a big trend and the need for teams that are autonomous. And by adding more functions to such teams, like the business side, already to DevOps teams, we see that these DevOps teams are becoming more and more common, and maybe especially in the financial sector where things are going so fast and you need very close interaction with the business side. You don't find them in companies like, for example, Spotify, because the business side is not that big, you could say, and important.
Yeah, okay, so thanks for that also. And I mean, perhaps a final question, and we have just a few seconds left before I have to introduce the next talk. But I mean, usually with DevOps type models, there are implications for the software architecture. So we use DevOps to try to get things out quickly and consistently. And often this entails a software architectural rethink. Have you seen any of that, or what types of architectures prevail?
So we see more and more of these companies that move into microservices. Definitely, that's a very important trend. And then we thought that since you work with microservices and define APIs, so you would expect less need of knowing who is actually committing the code, or knowing the social parts of the system. But it's not. It's actually opposite. You need more interaction, and that's interesting.
Okay, yes. So thank you very much, Niels. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk in more detail afterwards. To quickly introduce the next paper, the title is Implementation of the Technology Acceptance Model, TAM, for Digital Solutions.